Rookie right tackle Dawand Jones has taken over for Jack Conklin, who had season-ending injury just last week, and today we're going to analyze the tape against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jones' first true start of the 2023 NFL season. We're going to analyze how this guy, who is a fourth-round pick, who a lot of people slept on, has come in and really held it down for the Cleveland Browns at that right tackle position. Now, of course, Jones did have a couple penalties. He did give up a couple pressures. But overall, the guy was very, very solid, and I am very, very fired up to get into it. First thing I really love with Jones is he's very quick, he's very powerful, and what I mean by that is when it comes to timing the snap, when it comes to actually getting vertical and getting into your pass set, the guy oftentimes is moving faster than every other person. You can see this in slow motion. He's exploding out of his stance. You see that right knee start to move before anybody else moves, and to me, that is part of what makes Dawand Jones such a good football player, because if you're able to get out in front of that defensive end, you're going to have success. Oftentimes, the quickest person out of their stance wins, right? This is just fact of playing within the trenches. And this is part of why certain defensive linemen love to try to time the snap. Of course, as we go over this video, you're going to see on tape a number of times how Dawand Jones uses his hands, how he uses advanced techniques to ultimately win. So I'm very fired up to get into this one. Let's jump right into it. Alrighty guys, let's get into this first rep here. You're going to have a zone run to the right of your screen, which means Jones has to get to the inside of the 4-eye technique defensive tackle. He has to seal this guy off to the left side of Jones. And he does a pretty nice job within that. Unfortunately, he gets called for a hold on this one. You guys can see the flag kind of get tossed right there. Let's talk about this play. First thing right away that I notice is Jones does a good job getting out of his stance. Again, snap timing is a big part of being able to have success. He gets out. He does a really nice job setting himself up to the inside. Honestly, if Jones does not hold within this play, he's won the block. If he just lets this guy naturally go to the outside, reposition himself, and he kind of does do that. Unfortunately, he just ends up getting called for the hold, right? You can see that he has the right hand on the shoulder pad, and as the defensive lineman tries to go around Jones, he's going to end up just pulling this guy back towards him. To me, he should have just let go because the block was there for him to be made. And he set himself up perfectly. He even uses leverage with his left hand here to try to push right there to ultimately push number 99 back up towards the top and position his body to the right side of this guy right there. Perfect. Let him go. And you can see the running back has that lane, and partly because of Dawand Jones beating his guy to the inside. But again, he cannot hold within this play, and I think this is just one of those plays where he made a mistake. He should have just let this guy go. To me, this is a learning lesson, not a big deal. Just wanted to show you guys that snap. Let's get into the next rep. So one of the things that Dawand Jones does very, very nicely is he changes up his pass sets. So in one play, he'll take a vertical set. On the next one, he'll take a 45-degree set, and sometimes he'll even go directly towards a defensive end. And that's really to just kind of keep a guy guessing, is to keep a guy on his toes. And this is a really nice job by Dawand Jones. To me, he does a couple of nice things within this play. First and foremost, the snap timing is flawless. It's through the roof, explosive movement. And then he uses independent hands as he takes on TJ Watt. And I think that's such an important concept for offensive linemen to be able to win. You know, when I look at this play right here, Dawand Jones times the snap. He doesn't lunge, and he goes back and forth with his punch, with his hands. You know, the worst thing an offensive tackle can do is to throw two hands, lean into a guy, and really allow the defensive lineman to counter those punches, counter that lean, counter the double hands that an offensive tackle was throwing towards the guy. The best offensive linemen use one hand at a time to block these defensive ends. And you can see how Dawand Jones is going to go from right hand, and as TJ Watt counters that, he's going to hit him with the left hand, and he's going to bring the right hand back, and then he's going to get both hands on him towards the end of the rep to really just anchor down and get into TJ Watt. To me, for a rookie to do the little things with his hands, it's special, man. This is the type of stuff that ultimately allows offensive tackles to have success. And let's be honest, TJ Watt wasn't all that great, especially going up against Dawand Jones. And what I mean by that specifically is the fact that Dawand Jones didn't really give up sacks, right? And we'll get into some of his plays in which he lost on, and you'll see that those weren't necessarily on Dawand Jones. Let's go ahead and get to the next rep. Check this one out. 3rd and 4, you have a 17-yard pass. Watch Dawand Jones just explode out of his stance again. Get to TJ Watt and just kind of take him upfield. In order for a quarterback to have success, a big part of it is your offensive tackles being able to really help anchor down and really keep the quarterback clean. On this one, if you guys watch this in slow motion, just look how fast Dawand Jones is out of his stance. Like, especially compared to the guards, you can tell this guy's exploding out of there. That's such a nice job to be able to get out of there. And it's part of why TJ Watt didn't have a massive game. And when I say not have a massive game, specifically in a one-on-one situation with Dawand Jones. Because Watt did have a sack. He did have some quarterback hits. But really, that wasn't because of Dawand Jones necessarily. And again, we'll get into those as those plays kind of come. Let's go ahead and get to the next rep. Check this play out. You have a zone run to the right of your screen. Dawand Jones is going to do a great job getting up to the second level linebacker and absolutely taking him out of the play. A big part of Dawand Jones and why he'll have success in this league is because of plays like this where he's able to get up to an inside linebacker and basically remove him out of the play. Now, he's not able to get to the inside of him and seal him off because the linebacker is going to flow over the top. But when he does make contact with this guy, he does a great job eliminating him out of the play. And on zone runs, if a linebacker wants to over pursue it, that's okay. Because a running back will find the cutback lane. So in this instance, the linebacker is going to play over the top. So Dawand Jones is going to just take this guy and push him out of there. I mean, look at this guy right here. He's way out of the play if you guys ask me. So that's a great job right there by Dawand Jones. That being stated, let's go ahead and get to the next rep. Check this rep out. You're going to see a defensive line game by the Steelers, D-end, D-tackle, and Dawand Jones does a great job picking this up. To me, this is such a beautiful job, and you can see that TJ Watt actually gets one of his quarterback hits on this play. And with that, you can also see that the quarterback hit does not come because of Dawand Jones. So let's talk about this play a little bit, because this is part of what offensive linemen have to deal with week in, week out. You have to be able to pick up and process these games. So as Dawand Jones is getting into his vertical set, the defensive tackle here is going to slant hard towards the outside, and TJ Watt's going to come back to the inside. The hope is that the D tackle can eat up the two guys and ultimately get the defensive end a free shot at the quarterback. Now on this one, the right tackle and right guard do a great job, and you can see that the right guard's going to take number 99 here, push him right into Dawand Jones. Jones is going to see that, pick that up, and he's going to shut down the D tackle here. And Wyatt Teller does a pretty nice job with TJ Watt. But Watt is able to break the contact right there. And Watt is able to get around Teller. Now, you can also make the argument that maybe the quarterback should have gotten the ball out a little bit sooner. He's not able to fully get the ball out, and it is an incomplete pass. This is 3rd and 12. But to me, once again, this is a really good rep by Dawand Jones. This is part of why I think he's a pretty damn good rookie right tackle. Alrighty guys, if you guys have seen any of my content in the past, one of the things I like to do on this channel is look at both positive and negative reps, as well as give you guys my thoughts and opinions on what a tackle has to improve on. And here's one of the improvements I need to see from the right tackle here. One of the reasons why he was drafted in the 4th round, when he has 1st round upside. He's a very good football player. But one of the reasons why he was drafted where he was drafted is because he's not very athletic. And he doesn't have great change of direction. And keep in mind, snap timing is not the same thing as being athletic, being fast out of your stance. Those are all completely different things. What I'm talking about is the ability to change direction. So within this play, Dawand Jones just has a simple seal out block to TJ Watt. He really needs to just hold the block here and not let TJ Watt get around him. And most importantly, don't let TJ Watt jump to the inside. And in this instance, Watt is going to start with the speed rush upfield, and he's going to quickly jump back towards the inside. And the thing that happens within this play is Dawand Jones has already jumped out there to seal off TJ Watt. And TJ Watt's going to give a hard jab to the outside, come back to the inside, rip, and Dawand Jones just isn't able to change the direction and get in front of it. So within this play, TJ Watt has gotten to the inside of Dawand Jones. He's in the backfield. Deshaun Watson back here is running a read option with the running back. And if the defensive end here just kind of sits still, Watson would actually hand the ball off to the running back, and TJ Watt would basically blow this entire play up. Now, within that, Watson does keep the ball. TJ Watt not only gets the running back, but then he's going to get off that and he's going to go and take a hit on the quarterback. right? And again, this is one of the things that I need to see Dawand Jones just get better at. And it's not impossible. As long as he continues to work on his athleticism, as long as he continues to work on his movement skills, he's going to be able to do these things. Plus, also keep in mind the NFL speed is a lot faster than college. And with that, he's not used to the NFL speed yet, right? That's going to take him an entire year to really get used to that game speed. Alrighty, guys. So Dawand Jones played 87 snaps against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he only gave up one quarterback hit on those 87 snaps, which was ridiculously good, right? He didn't give up a sack. He didn't give up multiple quarterback hits, only one. And this was the one right here. And I almost think that Dawand Jones within this play jumped. And I think that as he jumped, he maybe recognized that he jumped and he kind of slowed down, right? Or at least it looks like that to me, that maybe he slowed down, but I'm not sure. It definitely looks like to me he jumps a little bit early. And you can see that the nose here ends up jumping, as you guys will see right here. And I almost feel like because of that, Dawand Jones jumps as well. Maybe he just times it really, really good. But to me, it does look like within this, he kind of hesitates a little bit. And then he's going to throw that right jab towards TJ Watt. And he does lunge a little bit. And I'm not sure if this was all because of the fact that he thought he may have jumped. But you can see TJ Watt does a great job with the spin move, and he's just not able to kind of get out there and really stop Watt from getting to the quarterback. And I also want to make one other point, and that is that he's changing his setup again. Right, this time he's going to go super far out wide. He's going to try to close the distance between him and TJ Watt. And sometimes when you do that, you do give up the inside. And in this instance, he ends up losing to the inside. Right, so just wanted to point that one out. This was really his only true losing rep. When it came to pass pro, not a big deal. He's still a rookie. Obviously, he's going to continue to develop week over week. Let's get into the next rep. Alrighty, guys. So if you guys have looked at Dawand Jones' stats on Pro Football Focus, he gave up only one quarterback hit, but TJ Watt had 3 to 4 quarterback hits. So TJ Watt was getting after it. And I showed you guys the defensive line game earlier in which TJ Watt got a hit. Here's another play in which TJ Watt is going to get a hit. Now, this one is not on Dawand Jones, even though Jones is the guy that's blocking him as he hits the quarterback. And there's a reason to this. And I only point this play out because I've already seen some people posting some highlights of TJ Watt and putting it on social media and kind of taking jabs at Dawand Jones. But here's the thing within this play. If you guys look at the quarterback right now, the quarterback has a very clean pocket. There is no pressure within 3 to 4 yards. But what Watson's going to end up doing before he throws his pass is he's going to take about 3 steps over to the left. And he's basically going to walk into TJ Watt. And to me, you can't put that on the offensive lineman. This is on the quarterback. Because the quarterback could have stood tall in the pocket. He didn't have any pressure there. And ultimately, if he stood tall in the pocket, he could have thrown the pass the same way. But he walked into the pressure here of TJ Watt. Now, maybe there was a little bit of pressure by 56 here, but the hit does not count against Dawand Jones. And that's why PFF didn't credit him with the quarterback hit on this one, right? And I agree with them when they do that. So just wanted to point that one out. With that being stated, let's go ahead and get into the next rep. Check the play out. You got an outside zone to the left. And this is the big run here by Jerome Ford. Ford does a great job within this play, really seeing the cutback lane, and he takes it 69 yards all the way down to the 1 yard line. Almost scored the touchdown, wasn't able to fully get in there, but still a really, really nice overall run. It's interesting because within this play, if you guys watch what TJ Watt's going to do against the tight end here, TJ Watt is going to reset the line of scrimmage on this one. And ultimately, because TJ Watt resets the line of scrimmage, Ford runs right into the tight end here. And TJ Watt is the big factor as to why that kind of happens, right? And of course, it works out where he is able to kind of cut it all the way back to the other side of the field. But usually this is a play in which you lose yards. So the tight end has to do a better job. Now watching Dawand Jones, he does a good job because initially he's going to reach out towards TJ Watt. And he's doing that in case Watt jumps to the inside. In that instance, he'd make contact with him and try to push him out. But in this instance, he does what he's supposed to do, which is turn back towards the threat or towards the inside. And the way this play should work is the tight end should be able to take TJ Watt and kind of seal him off to the outside. And Jones is actually supposed to now get up to 55 and really create this lane here. And within the play, he does do a pretty good job with that. You can see he's going to make contact with 55, had TJ Watt been pushed outwards, the running back would have been able to go underneath that behind Dawand Jones. So just wanted to point that out, that Jones within this big play does do a good job, but because of the fact that the tight end ultimately got pushed back and Watt was able to reset the line of scrimmage, Ford had to bounce it all the way back to the other side. But a great cutback, great run. Let's get into the next rep. Alrighty, guys, just a couple reps left that I really want to analyze. One of the things that Dawand Jones does really, really well is the advanced technique, right? And what I mean by that is he's great at being able to snatch people and use leverage against these guys. And this is a really good example of that. So you guys can see his guy clearly ends up in the ground. But this isn't by chance. This isn't something that just magically happens or accidentally happens, as I should say. Dawand Jones snatches this defensive end downwards. That right hand that he has latched onto the shoulder pad, he uses that to pull 44 forward. He's going to latch on and pull 44 downwards. And that's acceptable. Referred to as a snatch move, that is 100% acceptable. And 44 ends up in the ground, and this is by design. So again, Dawand Jones does a great job with the snatch and trap, the slingshot blocks. He can change the pass sets to really confuse defensive linemen. And this is why I said earlier that he has first round upside. It's because from a brain capacity, the guy's probably one of the smartest offensive linemen out there, right? And unfortunately for him, he just isn't the most athletic. And I don't think that's going to work against him as long as he's able to just continue to develop, continue to get quicker, faster, the speed of the game slows down. I think the guy has a lot of upside. Overall, I think Dawand Jones has a lot of upside. He just has to continue to develop. One of the things I didn't really point out that he does well as well is really latching on. You know, when he gets his hands on a defensive lineman, he's able to hold, right? He has a lot of really, really good grip strength. And you can see it on so many of his pass pro plays. Even in the run block, you can see that strength of as he kind of latches on to guys. But overall, really, really like Dawand Jones' tape. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. We will definitely be doing more Browns content on this channel. There's a couple of defensive players that I really like for the Browns that they've drafted over the past couple of seasons that we're going to be analyzing on this channel as time kind of goes on. So subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.